at least two of you are suggesting that it's going to be a popular uprising is the main way, or the most likely way we'll be able to solve this problem. Mm-hmm. But when you take surveys of Americans, you find that, you know, Americans rank it last, climate change last. You know, they give them 20 issues and they rank climate change last. Given that, do you think that is a reasonable way it's going to be solved? And if so, how can we get people to care enough to have the kind of, you know, popular uprising we need?
Can I tackle that? You wouldn't expect me to tackle this one, but I will try. I mean, the government has a role, and I'm not even going to talk about the government. I think that that kids getting educated and in multiple ways through Scouts and through what you're doing, and then facing their families to listen to what they know is a really important thing. And having some things to tell their families they need to do differently, like my son was doing for me, is also critical. And so, you know, the kids are key to making that happen. The other thing that I see happening is that business is changing. And the reason I was almost late is I was in Seattle at a forum of 60 chief sustainability officers for billion-dollar-plus companies. And we were talking about, for 2 days, you know, what everybody's doing. And there's a growing number of CEOs that understand now, sort of following, you know, the Patagonia. Anybody know Patagonia makes clothing? They are very, very sustainable in their thinking and strategy. They've changed. They were instrumental in changing Walmart's idea of how they should behave. So CEOs now are learning very quickly that being sustainable means that you cut costs, which makes you more profitable, and actually you can create new revenue from products that are viewed as sustainable. So, you know, cutting costs and growing revenue is what CEOs are all about. So companies are engaging with their employees and teaching their employees about what they can do. So grassroots is what's going to have to happen. So what you're doing is key. What, you know, Scouts can do to teach their families is key. What employees can do to take that home to their families is key. And the governments, I wish they would do something, but they're going to sort of watch as this happens, and then they'll probably take credit for, you know, some of the things that occurred. But we have to do this.
Remember also, apropos your point about that poll that supposedly Americans ranked climate change at 20th. First of all, always beware of polls. As someone who's written about polls for 20 plus years, they are generally advanced to, they're generally rather cited in order to advance a political agenda. But let's even accept that it might be true. I would reckon that if you had polled Americans in 1959 and asked them, how important is civil rights? Or if you would have polled Americans in 1910, how important is women's suffrage? First of all, they would have only polled men. So the point is, again, you don't need the majority. That's right. The majority is not usually the one that changes a society. Right. It's a dedicated, organized minority.